So the money doesn't have to sit there for a long period of time. And what this does is now you have an account on your credit report that shows up as 90% paid down. So, most people, contrary to belief, a lot of people have been told that it's about a credit score. You need to have this number. Now, when it comes to business funding or funding in general, it's not so much about your credit score. It's about your credit profile. And your credit profile typically tells a story, right? So I like to use examples. So for example, if you came up to me and, you said, "Hey, how's it going, bro? Nice to meet you. Can I borrow $10,000? I'm probably not going to give you the $10,000 unless if you said, "Hey, let me borrow $10,000. Look, I've been borrowing money for 5 years. I've been paying people back on payment plan every single month consistently, and I've never missed a payment." Then I might be like, "Well, bro, got a good track record. I got references I can go and see that you've been paying it back on time. I'm a lot more likely to then think about giving you $10,000, right?" So that's the same way the banks look at us. So when you got derogatories, you have late payments, you have collections, those are red flags. You're not getting any funding with those, right? So that's step one, making sure that we clean it up. All right, 35% of your credit score is based on time payments. The next thing comes down to strength in age, right? So it goes back to the example I just gave you. If you can tell me that you got 10 neighbors, you got 10 friends, and you can show me proof that you've been paying them back over time, I don't care that you've borrowed a lot of money because you're showing me that you're responsible. That's how the banks operate. So if you don't have enough primary accounts, and for those of you who are like, what is a primary account? Anything that is in your name is considered a primary account. Auto loans, student loans, mortgages, revolving credit, installment credit, credit cards, lines of credit, all these things are considered primary accounts. All right, if someone needs to build up, like they're in a position where they don't have any primaries, I recommend credit builder accounts and these installment loans. And what those are is essentially they're going to allow you to sign up for a subscription base. You got things like Kickoff, you got a Kovo installment loan, you got MoneyLion installment loan, where essentially you're going to be able to pay either a one-time fee or a monthly subscription, and every month they're going to report to the credit bureaus that you've been paying them down.
Okay. That's kind of like, I had a Self credit card.
Self is one. Yeah. Credit Strong, Kickoff. You got Rent Reporter, Rental Karma. You got all of those. So that's a great way to start building primary accounts.
Now, are they all similar to Self? Because what I like about that is that monthly subscription that you paying
comes back to you.
It comes back to
90%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So towards the end, most of them, yes, they're going to be the same thing. Where at the end of the term, a percentage is going to come back to you.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's great, and it's like you got to think it's allowing you to save money simultaneously. So if you got money management issues, it's a great way that you can knock two birds out with one stone. Another thing I tell people to do is a lot of these credit unions will actually allow you something called like a pledge loan, or some credit unions call it a savings shared secure loan, where essentially you can use your own money to open up this loan. And the great thing about that is you're going to be able to, this is a hack I tell people, if you want to strengthen your report quick, go to like a Navy Fed, a DCU, Air Force Credit Union, and you can open up one of these pledge loans. Now, you can do it anywhere from $50 all the way up to how much ever you have, right? So let's say you use your money, you fund it. The next day, what you can do is you can call them and you let them know that you would like to pay down 90% of that loan. Right now, that money is going to be from the loan back into your checking account. So the money doesn't have to sit there for a long period of time. And what this does is now you have an account on your credit report that shows up as 90% paid down. Right. Not only that, but it's going to allow you to build that internal score with that credit union, because credit unions have like their internal scores, which is why you could go to a credit union and if you've built a relationship running that play I just told you, with a 670, you can go get a nice little bag because your internal relationship with them shows that it's strong.
Right. Now, what does a good relationship look like as far as time? Is it like a year, 2 years?
Now, you can build a relationship pretty quick. Honestly, let's say you were with Navy Fed, you ran the pledge loan and you also let some money sit in the checking and in the savings, or you're doing weekly deposits. You can run that after 30 days, bro. You can go apply. They have a pre-qualify where you can see if you're pre-qualified for one of their credit cards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be...
Not even that long?
Nah. No.
Wow, okay. Now, you mentioned when we was talking beforehand about like some of your students and how they able to get to some funding pretty fast.
Absolutely.
Like so fast, you said in a day was the fastest. Like what did these students have in common who was getting to the bag that fast? Like I know you mentioned some of these data points. I'm sure they probably have all those data points lined up, but are there any other things that stand out that they have in common that allow them to be such good models to get them funded so quickly?
Absolutely. So there's 3 parts, right? There's 3 parts to getting funding. And usually people will either meet one of the 3 or 2 of the 3. Most people don't understand 3 of the 3. So the 3 parts are your foundation, right? I always like to say your foundation is everything. That's your personal credit.
Okay.
Optimizing, which is how your business is set up, right? How does your business structured? Is it structured like a big business so that you can get big funding? And then the third part is understanding what these lenders are looking for on applications. That's where most people don't know. So when we get people who come to me, they have a 720 credit score, they have all those data points that I went through, their business is already set up and structured right. We got
They just don't know what it is.
They
Banks
just
are
don't
looking
know
for.
what banks to look for and even what they're looking for on applications. Because if you don't know, like for example, a lot of people, I teach people how to get no doc funding, which means how to get approved without having to provide bank statements, pay stubs, etc. So like if you go into a bank and you put, oh, I'm self-employed. Most people don't understand that you should not do that because what you're doing is you are telling them that you're not stable. We know that self-employed people will make a lot of money, but to the eyes of the bank, it's a system.
Yeah.
So that tells them, okay, show us some pay stubs, show us 3 months bank statements. So just like that, you disqualify from no doc funding. Now, if you can show proof of income, you can still go get some funding, but I like the money to come faster, which no doc funding typically is, and it's just an easier transition because a lot of people haven't made money in their business yet. So that's why I teach as brand new businesses, we got people that's going out getting $150,000 in funding.